Oh, hi! Hi there! How are you? It's really good to hear! I'm Dr. Kpuffy, if you didn't know that already, and I'm here today. I'm playing SimCity 4. It is my all-time favorite game. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that. It's one of these games that I can really do anything I want with it. You know, it's just such a good game, and I do play with a few mods, and I am wanting to make a video that most people can watch and kind of relate to without having to really be like modding heavy or having to do like all of these hours playing. And this is the region I'm currently working on, and it's not that impressive. I will admit, I do have like a lot of empty space over on the sides here, but like around here, but I am getting along quite nicely. I have half a million people, and I was thinking about playing this region for the play, for the less Dr. Kpuffy plays, but I'm thinking that maybe what you guys would like to see would be more along the lines of a new region, a fresh start. You know, everyone has to start from scratch at some point, so might as well start a new place, and I'm gonna name it something special. I named my SimCity 5 one Dr. Kpuffy's Kingdom, so I'm thinking maybe I go with something along the lines of oh, here we go. Dr. K's Dr. K's Water Island Adventure. Then Adventura Land blah 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 blah. There we go. Woo! New region. Let's go. Oh man, much water. So like I said before, I don't have very many mods running. I am currently using the network add-on mod, and I think that's it. No, I'm also using the functional landmarks mod. Both of them are they're not the most important. Okay, network add-on mod is very important. If you guys are wanting to play SimCity 4, the first thing you gotta do is go to Simtropolis, make an account there, and I'll probably put a link down below, but you gotta go there, you gotta download the Network Add-on Mod, or NAM for short, and it makes this game, I don't want to say playable, but it's, they have a really good team over there, they're doing a lot of good work making this really like the game it really deserves to be. Like when the game came out, like way back in the day, it did not have the features that you would hope for. So right now I'm in God mode, and I did decide to do a whole island map or a whole water map. So I'm going to that's leveling, isn't it? That's just I thought okay. This is the one, Mesa. I clicked the wrong one. I know my words. There we go. That's good. I'm just going to create a little bit of landmass, and I think I'm going to drag it over to 2 of the borders so I can get a bigger island going on, but I'm not going to be going crazy with this. So let's see. I'm just trying to keep an organic little flow going on here. Here we go. Get this over there. That looks good. That looks nice. And then bring this over here. So, if you're starting a new region, one of the things, I mean, this game is really nice and it's really shitty all at the same time. So, one of the things that makes it really nice is that the traffic simulation for your cities are going to be phenomenal, right? On the other side of the coin, it doesn't really work too well for region simulating because it, I don't want to say shortcomings, but it's, you don't need farmland. Like you don't need farmland at all. I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. Like, you don't need to have any farms anywhere in your region in order for it to make sense. And you don't really have to have any connection outside of the region in order for you to be getting food from outside the region. So, I mean, it doesn't really, like, it's not flawless, but I mean, that would be such an irritating aspect of the game when you think about it, if you had to like make sure that you could feed your entire population. Like suddenly one city just skyrockets in population, and it's like suddenly you need 12 times the food, and you're just like, I need to build like 10 more cities because there's no such thing as like density farming. So like, or like there's like only one density for farms, and you know, you'd have to have like all these cities just for one big one, and that would just be like really crazy. And then you couldn't have these like really cool epic like just huge cities, you know, where you just like There's just nothing but sky rises everywhere, but I mean, those aren't really pretty or realistic either, but you know, it's fun. I'm gonna throw some wild animals on here because this is an island, and so, you know, rhinos make sense. They would evolve on this island, I'm okay with that. I am using sunlight all the time, and I think I have natural disasters off, but you know what, this could use a volcano. Let's put one out here. Clicking and holding builds up the length, the duration. And then you release from big volcano! That was a bit anticlimactic. This still looks pretty cool though. Look at that. Ain't it beautiful? Anyway, that'll make my city a little bit special. And I think this is good for terrain. That's gonna be a good start. That is a lot of animals! Oh my lord. Oh, those are all birds. Cool. I'm okay with that. Birds. Birds! Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and found the city. This is Dr. Kpuffy's Island Adventure, so the first city is going to be something islandy sounding, I would guess. Something beachy. It kind of looks like Mexico, with the Yucatan Peninsula right down here. I'm not gonna go with that though. It's a bit weird. I'm gonna go with how about Trojan City then? I took too long with that. Yeah, there's definitely not a pack of condoms right on the other side of my computer. That's definitely not where that came from. Trojan Bay. Let's go Trojan Bay. There you go. There you go. That sounds good. And I don't know. Some people like to put in their real names with their mayor name, and I'm gonna make one of the cities be Doctorkpuffy as the mayor. But I always like to do something like this, where I put in their like first name with just some letter, a J. Blumberg. Blumberg. Just whatever. That doesn't really make any difference. And I'm gonna go ahead and do easy since this is the first region, or my first city in the region. It's gonna have zero, like, anything, so I'm gonna need all the help I can get. Like, it's just, like, I have no regional demand for anything since there's nothing else in the region, so I can't, like, automatically have, like, you know, a lot of the residential, which is green, blue is commerce, and yellow is industry. I'm not gonna have a lot of demand. So if you don't know how to read the game, I can go over it real quick. It does keep track of like the environment, the health, the safety, the education, the land value, and your traffic, and you have all of them here. And it's kind of weird because if you have like full like fire coverage, but you don't have full safety police coverage, the safety line will be like 3/4. So it'll be weird. You never get max just because there's like a little bit of I don't want to say it's a bug, but like for example the there's some things you can place that are just so large that for some reason the police can't get into it. Like, for example, the airport is just so big. Like, if I go to transportation and under here, like it's just, the police can't actually get on the inside, so it'll just become like this huge crime hazards, right? But everything else you can definitely max out, and you definitely should strive to. It's really fun. But, you know, to like optimize kind of thing. It keeps track of like all of your different overlays, which is really cool. I have nothing going on, but just because I have nothing built, and I'll go over them more later. But first, I'm going to start off by building a little bit, I think, and I'm just looking at this here. I'm thinking about making this like some nice, wealthy resort area, some nice shops along here. Got a little bit of industry going on this side, put a little port here so I can send freight out. I know how to speak English well too. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm thinking about putting beaches all around it, but I might just even it and put like a cliff kind of thing so it comes out real nice. And I just started my timer, and I'm going to probably fast forward in some of the more boring sections, somewhere I'm like just focusing really on building and lining everything up, and so it looks like a lot more streamlined when you watch it, but hopefully it doesn't get too choppy. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and build me a power plant. Your options are the wind plant, the natural gas, the coal, and the oil. Oil produces the most, but it's definitely the most expensive one. Coal produces the most pollution and is the most cost effective. Natural gas pollutes, like, not the least, like, because wind doesn't pollute, but it this one pollutes the least given the fact that it produces 3,000 megawatt hours as opposed to 200. But I think this is really misleading. If you have industry in your city, you're going to need an actual power plant as opposed to just wind. But if you're trying to like get by on just high tech, you can really start with wind. And that's actually what I'm gonna do. Like, I'm not gonna line this up in any special way because I can always like readjust the land on one end. So I'm just going to go ahead and build a road right here, leaving the city. bring it down here, and then I'm going to put the power plant right off of this road, but I'm also going to give me enough space here to build a wind farm. So I can do both natural gas and wind, but I'm going to start with a single natural gas power plant. Here we go. That looks good. Now I'm going to build some industries so that my people have some place to work. And when you do this, like, I think the largest industrial plot, like, building that you'll ever get in the game, at least in vanilla, is going to have a 6x6. And I'm not even sure if that's true, but the 6th length. So I'm just going to... and most of the power plants are the 4. The solar power plant's the 5 block by 5 block, but most are 4, so if I like one, I can always put more here. So I'm going to do this, and then bring it out 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that'll give me that. And if you drag from here, and I did it here, it makes it so that the median doesn't go all the way across. So that, see, if you look here, it'll allow people to turn in. So I always start by just doing the side and then adjusting it depending on the demands of traffic. So I'm going to zoom out here, do it again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, another road, bring this out, just, you know, keeping the grid. It's totally fine to do it. You know, you gotta have a grid in some places. Everything's square, so, you know, it makes sense. The industry, there are 3 densities, like I said, and then the D zone. It's the farm is the lowest density, and that's, if you want farm, that's the only thing you can have. And then medium is small factories, and then heavy is large factories. There's some mods out there that make this better. If you really want to get into this game, I definitely recommend looking into it. One of them is the industrial complex mod, and these people did a really good job, actually, because they changed a lot of the lots. Like, they made them, like, I mean, you can look at it when I zone it up, because I don't want to build it over there. Sometimes they don't really have all of, like, the parking and stuff. It's just kind of like a building with some, like, concrete around it. And, like, some of the higher wealth buildings look better than that, and obviously, but these people who made this industrial mod made it so that the buildings look a lot more realistic. Like, they have more, like, doodads on them, more fences and stuff. And they also made it have more jobs, actually, because some of the smaller factories only employs 20 people, and I don't know about, like, I personally never worked in a factory, but I feel like even a small factory would have more than 20 people working there. I don't know, maybe that's just my warped delusion. I'm gonna also, like, I did say that I was using the network add-on mod, but I'm going to be avoiding using that as much as possible. Like, there's gonna be instances where I pretty much have to use it, because it's like, if you have it, it's like, for example, I can build roundabouts with the network add-on mod, which is very nice. And so I'm thinking about this, because what you want to have, like, what you want to provide for your city is you want it to be very realistic. For me, at least for my satisfaction, I like it when my cities look realistic, but at the same time, you want it to be like, ergonomical, right? Like, because some cities, they're just not designed well, and, you know, you don't want to be emulating a shitty city, right? I'm going to, like, okay, for example, this one. Like, the people who work here, how do they get here? Where do they park? Like, how do they, like, I don't know what exactly is happening. You know, like, so there's some mods that make it a lot better, but, in vanilla, it's functional, it's fine. And industrial is the only one where it's like this, where they'll just develop on their own, which is how it used to be in the old SimCities. You just filled an area, and then all the buildings would just fill up the area. As long as they were close enough to the road, they would be fine. But everything else follows this new formula of having the arrow pointing to the road that it's connecting to, and then you can have depth. The largest properties are, like what I said earlier, the 6x6, but the most of the properties are 3, like, that you'd really want to have to deal with, and then 4 for if you're trying to have, like, skyscrapers and something like that. So, which, I mean, you don't want to start off planning your whole city for 4x4, like 4 like this, and then, like, backing it up immediately to another, like, 4. Just, I mean, that makes your city, like, look really dense, and that doesn't look realistic either, because, you know, no one builds these huge skyrises, like, right and, you know, smushed next to each other. Like, you know, they'll build, like, tall buildings next to each other, but not, like, you know, you don't, like, I can, like, you know, show you some of these. Like, you might see something like this. It's still a large building, right? And they might be kind of smushed close to each other, right? But you're not going to be seeing huge skyscrapers, you know, like this one, which is much larger, like just right up. Like this one has a built-in little garden around. I actually like using that one, but I need people to work, or yeah, to like fill the jobs in my city. I should probably do that. I'm gonna go ahead and build a crossroad here. I want one near the top, actually. But also don't want to be disturbing too much, and I want it to actually serve people, you know? So, is this... Yeah, okay. I kind of want to put it right here, to be honest, because I don't think I need the avenue going that way. So, that looks good. And we zoom in here and count out the streets. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm doing 3 because then it puts the 3, which is the, like I said, the density that I want, and then I'll be filling in a street and then like a road kind of thing, and that'll give me a very good-looking pattern, as well as help control the flow of traffic in my city. And that looks like it'll be good. So then 3. Wait. 1, 2, 3. There we go. That in there, and we'll drag that down, drag this across, drag this street over, take these 2 roads and make intersections. Yeah, I'll do that. But I won't connect it because I don't want people to be going through my neighborhood in order to leave the city. Like I will intentionally put a bottleneck on the avenues just to like, because when you start putting in a whole bunch of neighbor connections, the more neighbor connections you have, I should say this first, the more neighbor connections you have, the more of a cap relief you get for your demand. And so like if you have more connections, you'll have more demand for freight and more demand for commercial, which is nice. But if you have too many of them, it will definitely mess up your city in terms of traffic flow, and you can't do the one and drag to the end of the city. So I'm gonna do that, put an intersection there so people can get out of the city this way, but I mean, please don't. Then I'm going to go ahead and put in all of my residential. Thinking about how I want to do this, because I'm not sure if I want to have it like right up against the like street, like, yeah, and like just have it be like kind of a fence off of, like, you know, you're driving along the avenue, just a fence and then houses, or if I want to put like a little bit of a commercial thing in here so that, like, you know, they have some shopping, or if I want to do like a hybrid where it's like you can do something like that. I'll do that, actually. That looks like, because then like this is more of a cut-through avenue and not as much of a I don't want people stopping on it, you know, so I'm gonna just do that. Hopefully you guys can see. I'll zoom in a little bit. So all the arrows are pointing at the road, and that means everything's gonna build off of the road. And this road, although nothing's being built on it, should help with the traffic flow a little bit. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna do like this, so it will have some traffic, and some people will be driving out here through here, and that'll hopefully give the people options. And you come into problems when you don't have options. You want to bottleneck people, but you want to give them like a bunch of different bottlenecks for your traffic, and that can be hard, but it's definitely rewarding if you get a larger city going on. Definitely worth. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit here. I'm going to start looking at it. And, oh, this is like a really, really big, important piece of advice when you're playing SimCity 4. Don't give a fuck about your Sims. Like, seriously, fuck them. They're stupid plebs. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They just live their lives humdrum. The medium wealth people, the rich people, the poor people, all of them. They're all plebs. They're all stupid. And it doesn't matter even if you provide them with the best of education. They're just treat them like they're plebs. They have no voice. They have no rights. Just burn down their house if you want to. You know, if their house is in the way, fuck their house. They don't deserve to have their house. Maybe I live in a totalitarian, like, my own little bubble of SimCity-ness, but that's how I have to play it. Like, that's how you have to play it, really. Because if you start caring about these people, you're like, oh, I bet they're so sad and poor with their little faces and their little no money and how sad and dirty they are. Look at the pollution. They're so sad. Look at the crime. There's no crime. But, you know, like, you start, like, thinking that they deserve some things, like a police force or, like, water or, like, anything. And, you know, you don't want to provide these people with shit. That shit is expensive, and they don't deserve it. You know, they just deserve their little shit shack, and then they deserve more money when I need them to be richer, so that there can be rich companies to pay me more taxes, because rich companies pay more in taxes. More number wise, probably like, you know, less of like a percentage, because, you know, tax breaks and whatnot, but, you know, we don't gotta talk about that. So as you can see here, I drove the intersection through, but I'm gonna, if you do this, like what I'm trying to do, just do another road right off the side, it will do the cut-through road like it did right here, which is fine, but it also restricts traffic, because you have to slow down when you go through those listings. So one thing you can do to get around it is just do the road. The road won't go through like that, whereas the street will. So I can make an example of this one, and this one I'll keep through like that. But it's not a big deal, but having this option is always very nice. So keep that in mind when you're playing. You don't want to, like, you want to remember that you have all of these tools available to you to make it really, you're definitely not going to be getting like the full, like, you know, city like building experience. Like, you're not going to be getting an optimized city. I'm going to go with that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, you're not going to be getting an optimized city if you don't use your tools properly. So like I said before, I was really going to make this area an industrial area, just this whole beach, and that should provide enough industry for the island, because I'm going to be throwing commerce in, and they'll provide other jobs. And this game isn't like SimCity 5, where your factories have to directly transport freight to the businesses, and if like that supply chain is messed up, they'll both, like, well, usually the freight will be fine, but then the commerce suffers, and you don't really see that as much in this one, which is really, like, it's a really good gameplay thing, to be honest, because like that supply chain is like, I was playing the SimCity 5 just not recording 4, 5, 6, 7. And I was just getting so irritated because I would have these really nice stores pop up, but they just couldn't get supplied, so they'd go under, and then they'd get rebuilt, and they would have full supply, and then they would just go out later because there was no more freight, and it's just so, like, I don't know, like, I had like a whole industrial city like right across the way, and I'm like, I don't understand why you're not working, and quite frankly, I don't give a damn. So, I mean, right here, I'm looking at this, and I don't really want to be bogging this down with, like, commercial, like, down the whole way. I mean, it's kind of a nice thing, and, you know, this is an island city, or, like, you know, a very beachy place, but I'm not, like, thinking that this is going to be, like, you know, my resort town or anything like that. This is, like, the first one to get me going, give me a little bit of everything, start the population going, and, you know, help get some regional demand so that my later cities can be a lot larger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that was right. I'm gonna do one more just to keep it even, because I'm crazy like that. Here we are, gonna fill this up right here. And I'm gonna put more industry right on this side. And that's the point of that whole little spiel, because I'm gonna keep building the residential over here. Okay, so that didn't work out for me, and here's how you guys can control your zones, and this is an important thing. There are 3 buttons: Alt, Control, and Shift, and that will completely change the way you play. So this is what it is by default. I'm not pushing any keys with my hand. I'm just holding down the left button on my mouse. If I press Alt, it gives me an alternate pattern for the area. Now, on these smaller ones, as you can see, it also makes a little clicking noise. But as you can see, it's really not as effective. Like, I'm not going to be getting nearly as many houses in because I have so much more road, right? So I don't want to be doing that one. If I press Control, it makes it all one block. So that can be really good if you're, like, trying to control, like, density, I guess, because then you can put these, like, specific sized plots in. But you can also go a little bit crazy and have, like, a huge plot. Like, that doesn't make sense. And then the last one is Shift. So when you press Shift, it takes out all the roads. And then you can, like, better fill your areas. So, like, through a combination of these 3, you should never get choked. You should never be bogged down by your city. Like, that should never, your city should never take a hold of you. So, like, right now, I'm just, like, what is this? I don't, who the, like, this one little strip of, like, house, what is that? No one lives there. Anyway, so fill that in like that. Just pressing Shift to make sure. And then here, it doesn't really work. Oh, that works. And here it doesn't really work again, so I'm gonna do that. And I know I didn't say it, but this is the nice side. Oh! I can house? 500 people? Cool! Totally worth. Build a house. It increases land value, but it really doesn't. And see, like anywhere it'll totally fit. I'm gonna keep it over here. See, I'm not sure what I like to do with the mayor's house because I want to, on the one hand, put it somewhere residential because you know that's where you know you live, and but on the other hand, I also want to keep it somewhere commercial so that it's like kind of like a touristy kind of thing. You know, it's like, oh yeah, that's the mayor's house. Like you know, you're driving by the avenue. I want you to be able to see it. It's like, you know, they're paying taxes so that I can have it. They should deserve to see it at some point. You know, that's my philosophy. I mean, I could place it here and not give any fucks, but since it's like a nice little house with a nice little garden and a little driveway, I might want to put it over like down here where I'm saying I want to put my rich area. So you can always bulldoze it and rebuild it later, which is why I'm just gonna plop it down right here. Give no fucks. I can move it later. It'll be fine. I'll just be like, yeah, I burned down in a house fire. It was tragic. Yeah, hoodlums. Those dang hoodlums. But you know, looking at my demand, I need a lot more residential, and they want agriculture, but fuck you, I'm not gonna give you agriculture. Stupid farms. Now, here's how I'm gonna measure this. I'm gonna keep it a pattern going. So I have the avenue, and then I have 6, and then the street, and then 6, and then, then the 6, and then the road, and so I'm gonna do the same, like, I'm gonna mirror it, okay guys? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's my street, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then this will be my, excuse me, avenue. Here we go. Now bring this road right on through, create another intersection, Now the network add-on mod, which again, go get that shit, seriously, I'm not joking, it's really good because, like, here, look, I'm not sure, I actually don't remember if the regular, like, if vanilla has these intersections, but I mean, look at this, what is this intersection? It's just the lines come and it's like, if you want to turn, you have to, like, YOLO somehow, like, I don't understand, like, I don't understand what this is. So, with the network add-on mod, if you click on your one-way road, and you just click right in the middle of the intersection, boom! Suddenly turn lanes. So, like, doesn't that look so much more realistic? It looks so much better, and look, there's enough room, they scrunch the sidewalk a little bit, as you can see it, like, fit that in, and then the cars even follow the lane. Look at that, that's great, that's amazing. And if you're thinking, oh wow, that's so stupid, why the hell are they disappearing so quickly? I have the render settings so that they disappear quickly. I don't know why, I turned it up and then my computer started melting. It was not worth it. So when I was making sure that this would work. I don't know. Yeah, the one-way roads don't work on these ones, which kind of sucks, but you can definitely put in turn lanes here. And you can put in turn lanes in the avenue too, and it automatically does it if you have a four-way intersection on your avenue. So, for example, I can't build a bridge off of this, so this is just for show. But see, look, it put in the turn lanes for me, but I'm not going to be using that, so. Keeping it vanilla. And I'm going to go ahead and fill all of this in with more residential, see as much as I can do. Okay, I can't do that, because see, look on the bottom portion, they're facing each other. There's no road, they're going to be stuck. It's unreasonable. Game, why you do this to me, eh? I don't know. I don't give a shit. I just press shift and then it takes care of it. Pro tips. Press shift. Then fill this in. Boom. And I feel like I could use more industry. I know it tells me I don't need it, but I'll put it in anyway, because fuck you. What are you? High roller in town. $10,000? I'll do it. I like $10,000. I like high rollers. Who doesn't? Would that be like, oh, turn. Turn. There we go. Okay. Woo! Okay, drive. No, don't crash. Okay, it's good. It's all good. I know how to drive. I drive in real life. I have a car. Oh, I'm on dirt. There we go. Yeah, I have a real car. It's cool. It gets me places. Anyway, driving. No traffic because it's the ghost town, but you know, whatever. And I actually love these driving missions. I mean, a lot of people don't play them, and you like watch people play Let's Plays and stuff, and they're just like, nope, build only. And it's like, it's comic relief for a little bit, you know whatever. Cover the cells is the point of this. You just gotta drive over them, and like, I know I had to go off-roading for a little bit, which is weird in the limousine, but you know, yellow. But the trick here is, like, I can actually mess this up if I fall in the water, which is like right there, and like my guy dies, and even if I cover them all, like, okay, yay, Frankie loved this site, good job, Frankie. I can build a casino, yay, casino. I have 1,000 people, and I'm pretty sure more than 1,000 people can sleep in that casino. That's a pretty big casino. It's It's bigger than like the whole city. So I'm gonna save up on that, just because I really don't have anything else in like I said, this is my entire region. Like, why would this little shit place have a casino that big? You know, like the SimCity 5, they really nailed the first casino. How it looks like just a small piece of shit. So like, truly, you know, they got that going for them. They did do a good job there. So not quite sure, but yeah, I'm just gonna bring this out. Just give me that intersection right there. Boom. Okay, that took a little bit. Sim Smolder for station. Don't give a fuck. No fucks. Fuck you. No station. Just barely starting to make money, which is nice. And I could still use some more residential, low wealth, and oh, so here's the thing. Like, you do need to provide power to your city. Nothing will build if you don't have power. You don't need to provide water. If you don't provide water, though, you limit yourself to low density. Nothing medium, nothing high, no intense densities will be developed. And as you can see, I definitely have way too much commercial zone here, but yellow. So if you do want to start getting apartment buildings, what you have to do is you have to provide them with water. And unlike in SimCity 5, the 2013 one, this game does not have the street upgrade to increase density. So you can have the highest density building, the highest skyrise right up on a tiny little street. And I totally love that. It helps me, like, I don't know, like, it's a little bit more real in that sense. Like, I don't understand why they decided to go with that texture option. Maybe it makes sense to them. I don't know. But how you control in this game is you have the different densities, right? So I have the low, which means only small things can be built, the medium, which is like small can be built, but also medium size, and then the dense one, which is anything will grow. And that doesn't mean that it restricts that zone to that type of building, right? Anything can grow in a high density residential area, but it also means that the highest density buildings aren't restricted from being built. And so, like, the easiest way to think about it, again, with all of them, really, except for industrial, is that it's just, like, the height. Well, it's the job capacity is, I think, what the game mechanic does, but if you like to, like, conceptualize these things to make them more realistic, it's just, like, you can't have, like, over a certain height in this area, otherwise, like, you know, like, I'm sure you've heard of, like, some people, like, complaining, like, that, you know, they put up power lines, or, like, somebody built this whole house and it blocks their view, and then, like, there's, like, a city code that says it can't be over a certain height for people's view, and it's, like, I don't know, you can conceptualize it like that. So that's just the height restriction. So, I'm going to actually put in a little bit of medium right here, just to, like, get a little bit of get people comfortable with the fact of living close to each other, and I will also provide water. Fuck the water tower. I don't know, like, I mean, if you use this, you have to have, like, a piss small town. Like, you're not trying to build a city. You're trying to build, like, Goat Fucker Simulator City. Like, seriously, let's not, like, place this one. It's a little bit more expensive, but as you can see, I'm already making money. I can afford that, you know? Like, it's just, I don't know why. Anyway. You do have to be worrisome about pollution, because a polluted pump will just stop sending out water at some point, which is a really bad thing and means you have to rebuild it somewhere else that isn't polluted. So a little bit of forethought is really appreciated with this kind of thing, but it's like you don't have to go crazy. And I mean, you can build a water treatment plant as well, which I'm sure you saw when I was clicking on it. It's right down there, and that's a bit bigger, but you don't have to build one of these. And this is just it in the radius of it, which is very large, and if I placed it in the center of my map, it would cover the whole map. It just blanket decreases water pollution. So you don't have to use that unless you have a lot of water pollution. And it's expensive, and it's like, it takes up a lot of land too, so it's like really just, I don't really like it. So just put the water pump there, and then you do have to build the water pipes, and the water pipes are really cool. If you start running low on water, one of the things that happens is that it just decreases, like, see this radius right here? It just decreases that. So, if you plan it well, like, you can totally plan out your city flawlessly, like, I always do this with the water pipes. I just find, like, a good, like, point where I'm not going to expand this part. So then I just drag it all the way across, and then I start counting out the spacing from it. And it's just 6 squares from the pipe, if this ever updates. Thank you. So you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yay! And then you can drag it across. Now, there was a lot of, like, not speculation, but I mean, some people like to do the more realistic approach where you build your pipelines directly under your roads, which is exactly, like, it's fine. It's what people do when in actual cities. And if you do your city layout like I did here, you can actually just follow the road, and it'll be fine, because there might be a little gap, but that gap will be the road, and you don't need to provide that road with water as much as provide all the houses around it with water, right? So, actually, since this lined up like that, I'm actually going to... no, I'll just do the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So like it'll be more difficult if you lay out your like road like this because you have to count, and counting is hard. It's so hard, and I know people hate to count. But I mean, once you do that, then you can just extend it however much along the city that you have in that direction, and like, so just like, I mean, I don't think it's a big deal, because now I have half of my land covered with water already, and I don't have to ever look at that overlay again. I just have to make sure that just to keep adding pumps over here, and just like a straight line backwards on as I need the capacity. Oh, wow, and I got a rich person already. Wow, rich person, what are you doing here? I suppose there has to be one rich fuck besides the mayor, right? The mayor's in charge, and then the guy who owns the gas company, right? I guess that makes sense. But everyone else is piss poor. And that brought me a lot closer to being in debt, but, oh, yep, there we go. I got some apartments coming in, and I just can't remember the shortcuts. Super fast forward. Oh, that was a bit anticlimactic there, I'm not gonna lie. Now, let's see. It says I need some manufacturing, and I could use some more people. So, the biggest, like, the thing I hate about this, and that one of the things I really liked about the new SimCity was that they really threw in your unemployment versus jobs available graph. And, like, there really isn't one here. Like, there's, I'm trying to find it right here. It's, jobs and population. And, I mean, I can get rid of the things that I don't have, just to help get rid of this bottom line here. So, like, I have over 2,000 low-wealth people, and I have over 1,000 low-wealth jobs, and then I have less than 500 commercial jobs. So, and this residential population, this includes everyone. So you don't have to have a one-to-one, like residential to job ratio. Like, you don't need that. You just need, you need it to be about, I think half is like the minimum you would want, and they lost all their money, suck. They're poor now. It got all gross looking. This rich person. You don't need, like, I think half is good, like, just for populations dynamic. Like, that's like where I would draw the line, but you want to be sitting around 3/4. And if you have more jobs or like equal jobs, then that means you're going to be needing people from the region to be moving into your city, and that's something you need to take into consideration when you lay out your city, because you want to have like other means than just road for them to get into your city, like even freeway or something better, like ports or ferries would be really good. And I'm going to build ferries on both sides, and I actually might put a canal in later, and I actually did that on purpose, because I was thinking when I pulled this up, I'm like, am I going to separate real quick? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So, taking this a little bit slow. I could be going a little bit faster with building this. This is not a speed run. I'm just trying to inform y'all. I guess I can bring it out, and I'm not sure, because, oh, you know what I should do? I should be all cheeky. Because if you don't have any mods, then I can make you all jealous and make you want to get mods. So you gotta go here, and then curves, and then you just tab through to the one you want, it says, and it's like, 45-degree avenue curve. Oh! That's my time! Okay, I'm just gonna place this in, and I'm gonna stop. That'll be it. So I'm gonna remove it, I'm just place this one first. This one looks like it's all the way forward. Oh man. Okay, there, yeah, right there. Boom! Okay, now I go here, and I want to line the diagonal up there. Yep, there. Okay, that's good. And then go scroll back up. My mouse wheel doesn't work. You can use your mouse wheel. Boom, and then boom. Oh yeah, that looks good. Fuck you, curves and shit. Anyway, this is the first part, Trojan Bay, and I'll probably do a part 2. You guys want part 2? I might make a part 2. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. I mean, if you like it.